From Beaten Jeans, and today we have an amazing interview with Alek, and he's coming to us from, actually I don't know where Alek's coming from. We were just talking about it.
I don't believe it's the United States. I can't remember. It might be Australia.
Is this him right here?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and invite Alek in. Alek has had a gastrectomy, and he's also an athlete, so we're really excited to hear from him.
Uh-oh, he declined.
Let's try this again.
For some reason, I thought it was England he's from.
I was thinking the UK.
But it's 12 o'clock there, which doesn't make sense because it's only 2 hours. It must be a day and 2 hours later. Maybe it's New Zealand. I don't have any idea. I can't remember. I'm
We're
so
all
sorry,
gonna
Alek.
learn about Alek together today. And that's what we do this for.
Yes.
Hope everyone's having a good day. I just want to forewarn everyone that my son is homesick from school. If he pops up here or I have to leave suddenly, that's why. So I apologize in advance if that happens. Hopefully everyone else is healthy and having a good day. So we've invited Alek in, and we are just waiting for him to hit that accept button. And Alek, if you're watching, you have to be on your cell phone. It does not work on a computer.
Alek, also you could hit the, oh, he's unable to join, it says.
Oh, no. Okay, he must be, Alek, if you're watching, you might be on your PC. We need you on your cell phone. Let me try to invite you again.
Also, Alek, you can invite us to join you by hitting the little person symbol.
Oh,
yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my gosh,
How are you?
Doing great. Glad to be on with y'all.
Where?
happy to.
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta? Oh, how did we get that wrong?
Why did we think it was? Well, I guess because you had to do this at lunchtime or something, we had to coordinate that way.
Yes, I've traveled around. I've been in several countries. I was in the military for quite a while, but I moved to Atlanta about 8 or 9 years ago, and before all this stuff happened. So
Okay, I don't know how I got that so confused. But all right, you're in America.
yes.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit down and talk with us and share your story. We're excited to hear about it.
Yes, very excited to hear about it.
I have a kind of a unique start to my story that has nothing to do with CDH1.
Okay.
I guess I'll jump right in if that's what you would like.
I want to hear the strange story.
All right. In 2018, I had no clue about gene problems with genes, gene mutations, anything like that. I just gotten out of the military because I moved, was under a lot of stress, gained a lot of weight, had to take steroids because I'm severely allergic to poison ivy. And I was about 310 pounds. And the doctor said I had something called fatty liver disease, which is just something you get when you're not being healthy. Right. And overnight, I changed my whole lifestyle, my diet, kind of surprised my wife. She's like, why are you eating so weird right now? And in 4 months, I lost 100 pounds. I got down to 210 in 4 months. So then I went down even a little bit further and maintained that until I found out I had CDH1 for about, I wrote some dates down because I can't remember dates. About 2 years. I maintained that positive weight, that positive attitude. I kept running. I was trying to go back in the military now that I was back to my regular weight. And after all that hard work, my mother had one of those weird shadows on a mammogram, which is, I believe, indicative of the breast cancer caused by CDH1.
Right, a shadow, yes.
For some reason, they decided to go ahead and do the double mastectomy with her and ran a genetic panel on her at the same time. They found the CDH1 gene in my mother, and without any intro or anything, it's like, you need to have your stomach removed too.
Okay. They said this to your mom.
Yeah, okay. I said this to my mom. Without any preamble, nothing. Have your stomach removed. My mother was kind of shocked, and then she did the research. She used to be a nurse, and her sister did the research and also found out she had CDH1, which caused me to get tested. And I discovered CDH1.
Right.
And after
What
talking
year
to
was this
oh,
that all of this happened?
Yes. How old was your mom at this time? And did she have her gastrectomy?
yes, that's part of the interesting story that we'll
Oh,
get to in
okay.
just a second. That was she had her breast cancer in 2020 and
Okay.
had her surgery about the same time because they went hand in hand. And so that was just 2 years ago. And I got and we actually both lost weight together. She lived in Alabama, I lived in Georgia, and we went on a weight loss journey together, and we both changed our diets and got healthy together before her breast cancer surgery and before we discovered we had CDH1. And she lost 60 pounds, I lost 100 pounds, and we both.
So this was in 2002 when you guys went on your house.
2018.
2018. Okay.
18.
Okay.
So 2 years
That's
later.
so cool to do that together.
Yeah, it is.
Good for you
not,
guys.
That's not the only thing we did together. We got the CDH1 and we found that out together, as well as several other members of our family. On that note, my cousin just had her prophylactic double mastectomy a couple days ago.
Oh, good.
Okay. Hope she's doing well.
I don't know if she went to the NIH to do it. I don't know if they do that. I just know that she got that taken care of. She's out of the hospital taking pictures. She's doing very well.
Without the worry anymore. Good.
Without the worry. And she's scheduled for the total gastrectomy as well, as soon as she recovers from the double mastectomy.
This is your cousin?
This is my cousin.
How old is your cousin?
If she's watching this and I get it wrong, she might get mad at me, but I think she's in her 30s.
Okay.
30s. But so with all that said, we discovered this, we did the research, and we're like, well, I think we need to go ahead with the surgery. And my cousin's mother was a nurse working at a hospital, did all the footwork to get us on with the NIH. Mm-hmm. And so she was going to do it first, but had a serious heart condition when she was going to have the surgery, and she ended up getting stuck in the hospital because she needed some heart surgeries before she could even have a regular surgery.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
She's doing well after a very rough journey, but she's doing well. I visited her in Maine. That's where she lives. This last year. So we did the CDH1. The genetic counselor talked to us, and my mother and I were in agreement. Well, we needed to have the prophylactic total gastrectomy.
Did you discover that you had a family history of gastric cancer? Is that why you guys decided to go forward with it?
We had some family members that died of stomach cancer.
Okay.
And there was a few other just anomalous things, but we didn't have a clue until he really started researching that there was histories of cancer and some breast cancer as well on her. I believe it was on her dad's side. I think it was her dad's side that had the cancer. We had one of the relatives pass away of stomach cancer, but nothing too extreme. Not like every other family member passing away. It was something that I hadn't heard of. That a lot of people died of stomach cancer. Most of our family that passed away was a heart condition, heart attacks and strokes and stuff like that. That was where the serious family health issue was.
Okay, interesting.
So, but there was a couple that we identified, and there was some instances of breast cancer as well.
So you knew that this was something to be taken serious, for sure.
Yes.
That you were going to go forward with it.
Definitely. I have 4 kids, and I want to be around there. The oldest is 18, just getting ready to go into the Navy boot camp next week.
Wow.
So I'm like, I need to be around for my kids. Even if I don't have it, this gives me a peace of mind.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. Yep.
Oh yeah. We went and had our EGD together. My mother already had hers, but she went with me and was my support person, and that was kind of to determine, well, let's just start the process.
Yes.
And we did that. I went home just waiting on the results, and I got the results before they called me because I was on the My Health app like every other day practically.
Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah.
I know, it just comes flowing in. It's, oh my God, my results.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't think I was supposed to get them before they called me. So what I saw on the what I saw on the health app, it says that they found 4 or 5 places of signet ring cell carcinoma on my, and I just like, I looked up carcinoma. It's like, that sounds bad. And it's like, that was bad to me. And that kind of freaked me out. Let's just say I got a call from Dr. Davis that day.
Right.
Because my aunt, the one who did the I think she called them, and doctor was a little upset that they released the results before they talked to me.
Yeah.
He put me at ease with that, but it definitely solidified in my mind that I was going to go through with the surgery. And that was on, let's see, November 30th of 2020 is when we had that done. So we set it up as quick as possible. I was going to go December 30th, 2020 to have my TG. That didn't go so well because I had COVID that day.
Oh,
the
man.
day of your scheduled surgery?
Yes.
All mentally prepared and everything in the ducks in a row, and then you have to cancel.
Did you find out when they swab you when you go to the NIH? Is that how you discovered that you had it?
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
They rolled me through the basement in a wheelchair, and they're all dressed up in their isolation suits, and they put me in a zero pressure room and a kind of half abandoned ward. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. I'm so glad we drove because I would have been stuck here for 2 weeks if I flew.
Yeah.
Were you feeling unwell?
I had a slight cough. I worked at that time in food retail. I always get sick during the holidays because I work in too many hours during food retail, and I worked right through the Christmas holidays, and I just the normal holiday, illness that I get every year just because I overwork myself.
Yeah.
But thankfully, a month later, we were able to get right back in, and in February, I think it was February 8th or 9th. February 9th, we actually got in for the TG. I say we because my mother and I scheduled it for the same day.
I like that.
Wow.
Yes.
I like that. If I could change anything, I would go back and do it the same day as Polly. Because,
You would?
Yeah, I would.
Wow.
I mean, it meant my mastectomy too, because I think that's so important to have that support team, and you guys can banter back and forth about how you're both are feeling and symptoms you're experiencing.
And what we can't eat.
So who went first, you or your mom?
My mother went first. They grabbed her first, and then they came and grabbed me afterwards. And both our surgeries were obviously successful. We're both doing well. Her spinal
Epidural.
Her epidural worked a little bit better than mine. Her epidural took care of her completely. When I got done, I was in more pain than I had ever felt, and I could still feel all my parts and like.
Ooh.
I mean, but when they shut it off, it was doing something because it just didn't. I don't think it worked as well for me as it did for my mother.
Okay.
Like I heard you're supposed to be numb everywhere during the epidural. I had full outer feeling all over my stomach, and so that first 24 hours, I just tried not to move. And the little button that did work. I did push it a lot for the first 24 hours, but after that, I felt great. Just tender. I got up and started walking. Both my mother and I, because I'd been running, we kind of shocked the nursing staff on the OR area. We were doing laps, 10, 15, 20, 30. Finally, we got out to the atrium, and we were doing miles a day.
Good for you. That is important in the healing process.
Yes, everybody says walk, walk, walk. That's the key.
That's how you get it
getting
all
out of the
moving.
hospital. Yeah.
Yes, and I think I started recording it on the Nike Plus app, how many miles I was doing in the atrium at the hospital. I did a fair share of miles up there, and which was interesting because I actually scheduled to run a marathon 3 weeks after the surgery. I did not do it. I ran a 5K really slow 3 weeks after the surgery.
Wow, impressive.
And,
3 weeks?
3 weeks. I walked most of it, but it was after about a mile of a little effort. I'm like, I better slow down.
Right.
And that was the Publix Atlanta Marathon, and it took place at the Atlanta Motor Speedway that year because of the COVID restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part of the race was getting out of the center of the speedway because I had to go up all those stairs. And I'm like, oh, this is taking forever. But I did it in like 48 minutes for 3 weeks post surgery, and I was it definitely wasn't my best time, but I was happy with that because I paid the $100 and something to run the 2 races, and I just ran the 5K. But
that is really,
And
that's some perseverance
you,
right there.
I mean, were you eating well at this point? I mean, how do you prepare for a 48-minute run? Like your nutrition and fluids, and how did that look for you?
Well, ever since the surgery, I've had to run with a Camelback or a backpack water system. I found the Osprey to be the best just because it has pockets for nutrition. Initially, my runs were really short because I couldn't really eat anything on the runs. All the gels that are dense nutritional items were so full of sugar that I couldn't do it. And the ones that didn't have sugar in, I couldn't quite, no pun intended, stomach the terrible flavor. By the way, I made so many jokes as soon as I found out. I was telling people I could not have butterflies in my stomach anymore, and yeah, I don't like Star Wars anymore because I can't get gut feelings like Han Solo, and just random stuff like that. People were uncomfortable talking to me about me not having a stomach, so I told stupid dad jokes the whole time, and
just to ease them, make them more comfortable.
Yeah, I think they're funny, and my kids still laugh at them, and I've been telling them for 2 years now. And every run I did, I would try to post a different one on, because I post all my runs to Facebook. I believe you've seen some of those posts. You're my friend on Facebook. I would post a new pun for that first year. I ran out of puns. I was talking about midriffs and cores and stuff like that. By the end of it, it's like, I just got to do something different now.
Wow. So you've run a lot of races.
Yes, I run a lot. In the month of this last month, I ran 140 miles in the month of September.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So
now, okay. I also remember seeing that you say that you can eat like 4,000 calories a day. Tell us about this.
That actually goes back to going on that. I don't say diet because diet's the wrong word. You go on a diet, you get off the diet, and then you gain all your weight back, or you lose whatever price. You go on a life change. When I went on that life change journey, losing that weight, I set up some practices that actually helped me just in reverse. Rachel was very, very happy. The dietitian was very happy because she knew my history and how I lost all that weight. It's like, you're not going to have a problem with the diet because you've already disciplined yourself to be on a specific, she used the word diet, but it's a life change. And I just flipped it. And instead of not eating, instead of fasting, I mean, I learned how to fast while I was on like 5 days of fasting where you didn't eat anything for 5 days. I can't do that now, but I learned how to do that, which came in handy doing it the other way around. Except for one minor problem, my job did not really work well with eating. I worked at a grocery store and with food, so I couldn't have food in the area I worked. So I actually got down to 160 pounds after the surgery. I quit the job and started working at an auto shop where I could eat a lot, and that's where I developed my eating habits. Trail mix is like my best friend. I probably eat 1,500 to 2,000 calories worth trail mix a day.
Whoa! What is that? Like a cup full, maybe?
Yeah. So it's 200. It's like 200 to 300 calories per ounce and a half, or something like that.
Okay.
So I eat a lot.
That's a lot. It's over a cup. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I switched to the garage, I was able to bring food, and there was a lot of downtime. So I ate a regular meal, which was 5 to 8 ounces of whatever every 2 hours. And then every hour between, I'd eat a big snack. And then every time I walked by my trail mix, I'd pop a handful in my mouth or eat this or that. And at first, everything was very low sugar. Pizza was something, by the way, I tried to eat every month, at least once a month or twice a month, until I could start tolerating it, because I could not eat any bread or rice without getting it was probably bile reflux. It just expanded and just made me feel ill. And I practiced. I hate to say practice makes perfect. I would try.
You're like, I'm gonna eat the pizza.
It took about eight months. I could start eating pizza.
Wow.
without any issues.
The body gets used to it over time, right?
Yes.
I wonder if that was like you got your body used to it, or if it was just like a time thing. Just
Right.
your body needed
Had you
time
not
to
practiced
process it.
eating it, I wonder if you'd be able to eat it.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
wonder.
interesting.
And I ate till I got like, I don't really get hungry per se. I crave food, but I don't get hungry.
Mhm.
And I would eat until I was slightly uncomfortable every single time I ate. And I would push that a little bit further because I knew I was going to try running a lot. And eventually, I kept pushing and pushing, and I almost eat normal meals now. I can eat 3 pieces of Domino's or any pizza without any issue right now.
Do you still find that you have to like chew a lot?
Not as much as I did at the beginning,
Okay.
which is interesting. I still try to chew a little bit more than I used to inhale food like a vacuum cleaner when I was heavy, but I chew it. Feels normal to me, but it could just be the training right after the surgery.
Right.
So, yeah, my day, I don't work at an auto shop now. I work in a warehouse for car parts, which is a way better job than the auto shop because they didn't pay very much at auto shop. And I still carry my trail mix with me. They know me as a snack guy, and they say I have my little convenience store in the corner of the break room because I have everything there. Sweet snacks, salty snacks, savory snacks. I keep yogurt and cottage cheese in the fridge at the break shop just in case I do experience pancreatic dumping, which is the shakes and stuff. But the running, I think, mitigates a lot of the negative side effects from too much sugar, not enough protein. I haven't had a dumping issue for almost a year.
Oh.
Maybe once or twice I get the shakes a little bit when I took a nap, of all things, because I didn't eat anything after while napping, and that impacted how I felt, and I'd wake up without an alarm clock with the pancreatic dumping, which I think that's what Rachel called it, where you get the shakes and all you do is eat a yogurt or cottage cheese or peanut butter, and that makes that go away real fast.
So you're having like a low, like a hypoglycemic episode, low sugar.
Yes. Yeah, low sugar or too much sugar. I'm not sure which one it is. I just know, oh yeah, it's when your pancreas kicks in and takes too much of the sugar out of your system because you ate too much sugar. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't get those very often. I've noticed the more that I run, the more I can eat. So
I just want to say something. I feel like we've talked to multiple people who have like healthy lifestyles and backgrounds like you do, including Polly. And it seems to me like their outcomes are generally better than those who aren't concerned about their health or what they're putting into their bodies before the surgery. I think that's so big for recovery.
The preparation.
Yes.
And also afterwards.
Being healthy before.
Yes.
I know. And I've noticed that if I am lazy and I don't work out a couple days, I don't really feel very well. My energy level is down, and I just feel better when I'm active and doing a workout, or
because it's like you don't have your stomach there to be moving the food. It's like your body picks up for that when you are active in that way. So
yeah, interesting.
I think those of you who are watching who are having issues, maybe you could start like walking or maybe incorporating like jogging or something to see if that helps any of your issues. What about your mom? Because you said your mom, she joined you on this health quest at the beginning. Yes. And how was her recovery? Did she continue on with her healthy ways?
Hers is a little more difficult. She had her gallbladder out at the same time. She had her TG, and she also in her past had a hysterectomy. She's had a lot more trauma inside her, and she tried to do the same thing I was doing because she's competitive like that, and she had it didn't work for her as well. She had some heart issues that runs in the family, and something with a bicuspid heart valve, something or other. I don't know all the details, but she can't be quite as active as I am. She does have a little girl that is 12, I think, maybe 13. So she's pretty active. And my stepdad has during this whole process, he got diagnosed with lymphoma
Oh.
during the whole process, and he's doing well. He's doing very well. I saw him for my son's going away party for boot camp. He's doing very, very well.
Good.
And so she's very active in a different way,
Yeah,
but she doesn't go
busy.
for runs. She doesn't
Yeah.
run 10 miles before she works. I'll go for a 10-mile run and then work a 12-hour shift.
I am so impressed by you, Alec.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
It's inspiring. It is not just for people without a stomach, but for everybody.
When you're running, I don't mean to change subjects, but when you're running, are you eating that trail mix while you're running? Because I
No.
would envision like it coming back up.
When you eat at the beginning of the run, you could probably get away with it, but after you run for more than 20 or 30 minutes, anything you put in your mouth that is not liquid or really moist tastes like sawdust. And just kind of you have no moisture to work with it. I did discover through the help of Rachel a few supplements that help me. One is called Frog Fuel. It is a high protein liquid supplement. It doesn't taste very good. It doesn't taste terrible, but it's a protein energy source, like a goo or a Cliff Bar or something like that. And you get a quick shot of protein that way. And then I discovered I forgot the name of it. I can get that. I can post it. But I found a no added sugar goo finally that tasted good, especially the pomegranate one. So I take those back to back, and sometimes I throw some unsweetened applesauce. I get those little kids pouches, or some of the kids no sugar added stuff. I know it's like eating baby food sometimes, but I can do that. And it's only really necessary if I run more than 45 minutes. Running for 30 minutes, you don't read. I need the water. But doing supplement during the 45 minutes I don't need it. My morning run before work is 10 miles.
Every day?
And how long?
No, not every day.
Run?
Okay.
So I got my best time recently, and it was 1 hour 34 minutes for 10 miles, which is about a 9:30 pace.
Wow.
And I saw you have your kids running with you in one of your last races.
Yes, and I beat them all.
Na 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 na.
I don't know if it's faster than you.
My son's recruiter looked at my time and it's like, I'm kind of embarrassed. I ran a half marathon and it was slower than yours, and I'm a young guy. I'm like, wait a second, are you calling me an old guy?
Yeah.
I'm 43, by the way.
Well, this is so okay. So before the surgery, I know you'd done your health quest. You changed your lifestyle. Did you take the opportunity to gain weight before the surgery, like eat whatever you wanted to?
Yes,
or
I threw my lifestyle out the window. I threw my lifestyle out the window, especially the 1 month extension I had for my surgery. Yeah. I was 250 pounds when I went to have the surgery the first time. I was about 276 when I went the month later.
So 20 pounds, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I actually gained about 70 pounds.
Oh, 70, yeah, okay.
70 pounds for the whole duration, but I gained 20 that last month because I'm like, when I just ate pizza buffets, Golden Corral buffets, I cook a lot. I was a cook in the military, and I cooked at a dining facility for a long time. So I was cooking souffles and pork rolls and everything I could think of.
Who knows if it'll be your last time, right?
Yes, I treated every meal as my last dinner, and it showed at the surgery when I was like, oh, that's getting kind of chunky, and I had to go back to some of my old pants because they weren't fitting anymore.
How much do you weigh now?
I weigh 180.
180. And how tall are you?
6'2", I think. I might have shrunk a little bit, but I've been 6'2". I weigh 180. I got down to 160 because of the job, and I spent 3 months trying to gain 20 pounds back at the garage, and I ate, so I was uncomfortable almost all day long because I ate. If I started feeling comfortable again, I ate some more.
Right.
And it took 3 months to get back up to 180, and now I can't. I may have gone up to 189 a couple times and 179, but I sit around 180 all the time.
That's your weight. That's perfect.
that's where I'm at. That's my ideal weight according to the military and everything. So I'm like,
do you ever get tired of eating? I'm exhausted.
Yes.
It's like if anybody mentions the word food, I'm gonna just like have a freak out attack.
It is a chore. I took to heart what Rachel said. I think Rachel Lopez, when she said eating becomes medicine for you. And I think that's where my skill set I developed on my health journey just worked in reverse. Not eating was a chore too. Choosing to eat 1,200 calories a day instead of 5,000 or 6,000 a day. That was a chore. Eating cauliflower rice and eggs for breakfast instead of pancakes and sausage and biscuits. Same principle, just the other way around.
Right.
And I did track my food for almost 4 years. I tracked everything I ate from the start. I used an app. I used the Strong Thurman app for a while. Not Strong Thurman, Live Strong. But that I switched over to Lose It, and I paid the yearly fee of $40 or $50 and tracked everything. And it tracked your calories, it tracked your macronutrients, your micronutrients, it tracked everything. And I did that for 4 years. And when I finally got established 5 or 6 months ago, when I know where I'm at, I stopped doing it because it took time.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
And that's how come I knew exactly. I showed Rachel, well, this is what I ate this month. And I could show her exactly how much I ate per day. And I had a chart and graphs and tracked my weight and everything. So I was pretty knowledgeable about exactly how much protein I was eating, how many carbs I was eating, how much fat I was eating, sugar and salt. And I knew, I guess, like, I didn't feel good that day. Oh, that's why I ate that item on. It tracked everything, each item, and just scan the barcode or start typing autofills. It was really easy to do. And anyone that has to track their food, especially straight out of surgery or even losing weight and being healthy, I'd recommend that to anyone. It's easy, but it's not fun to do sometimes, though.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when you're doing little handfuls of trail mix, like every little time.
Yeah.
That's why you transfer to a smaller container, and I'm going to finish that.
You know how
today,
much
and
is
then
that container.
how much is in there.
And then what about supplements? Are you supplementing, or are you just using your food as your supplements?
I use the bariatric vitamins that Rachel Lopez recommended, and I do a Senna just to keep me regular because I had some issues at first and got some, I think, hemorrhoids a few times going into this process because of, I think that's a problem that all of us seahorses have, is that type of thing. And I have issues with vitamin D, and I'm eating so much calcium. I think it caused kidney stones. I got my first kidney stones a couple months ago, and I had 3 of them at one time, and that was not fun. I didn't know what was going on. I just know dry heaving without a stomach is not fun because you can't really throw up when you don't have the stomach quite the same. So yes, I had 3 kidney stones.
Oof.
Yes, and
And
they were
you
about.
think that was because of the calcium supplements you were taking?
Calcium supplements or caffeine. I do drink caffeine still. I
And
drink
do you
something
still
called.
supplement then with the calcium?
Yes, because I am on the edge of osteoporosis.
Okay.
I had a significant decrease in bone density at my 1-year follow-up, where she issued me or had me go get vitamin D as well. And I'm probably scheduled for a Prolia shot. My home provider is doing the insurance stuff right now for a Prolia shot just to help me out. My mother had one and it helped her out, and that Rachel Lopez said you might need to consider that too. So
how often?
I'm surprised as active as you are, because they say physical activity, weight bearing exercises is the best way to maintain your bone health. So I'm surprised.
Is running considered weight bearing?
I would think, because you're like
pounding.
We're gonna find out. I've done more running this since my 1-year checkup, and my next 1-year checkup will be in March after I run a full marathon. That should be interesting.
When are you doing that?
We want to root you on.
I know. When is it and where is it?
It's the Atlanta Marathon in February. Like about the time they did it was supposed to be right around my surgery time. So I think it's February 9th. I'll post some stuff about it. But that's not the longest race I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do what's called an ultra marathon. It's been on my bucket list for a while.
Like
That's
a 50 or 100?
Let's start with a 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with a 50. I have a couple running friends that we run using the Nike app, and going to after the marathon, we'll see how I do with nutrition and running. And if I do well, I'm going to sign up for the 50, which is April 1st.
Wow,
April Fool's Day.
so
You
cool.
are so inspiring.
I know.
I've only been running about 3 miles, and I got to kick it up a notch.
Yeah, 3 miles,
Time.
I feel like if you can run 3 miles, actually running any distance is great for you, even if you only do it once a week. That helps with a sundry of health benefits. I believe either with or without a stomach.
Yeah, it does.
But when I run 3 miles, I'm like, that's it. I get done. Yeah, it feels weird when I run 3 miles. I don't even feel like I started. My running path
like your
is
warm
10
up.
miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, my best times usually my last. When I run 10 miles, my best miles usually my last 2 miles, speed wise.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
What's great is I've got my best running times in all the 1 mile. I got that under 8 minutes since my surgery. I got that under 8 minutes. My 5K I got under 28 minutes. And my half marathon, I did a half marathon before work a couple times just to go do it, and I got that in 2:13 for a half marathon. So I'm
impressive.
I'm shooting for
now,
a sub
you have to
5.
have like a very supportive wife, I assume, to have you like have all this time before work to go run. Is like, how has she been after your gastrectomy? Was she there to like help you cook? And
I'm a cook, so actually something that helped me a lot, it's kind of weird, is after my surgery, when I couldn't eat anything, I was cooking up a storm.
Yeah.
I was cooking for my church group, and my church was really supportive too. I ran out of sick time, and I had random people coming up and, hey, I was told to give this to you. And my church and my church family, they took care of us when we didn't necessarily know we needed to be taken care of. But I didn't lack for anything when I had the time where I couldn't make money. So that was really neat. And my wife, she been a stay-at-home wife for the first 18 years of our marriage, and we've been married 20 years. And she went out and got a job in the school system and got promoted to full-time pretty much within a week. She was involved and she loved the kids, and they saw something in her, and she got made salaried staff this year. This is her second year working, and so she's what's called a ed tech or a parapro, and that helped because when my insurance ended with Publix, hers started with the school system, and now my Ford insurance takes over, which is even better. So it's all worked out. She was supportive that way. I still help cook, and I've been teaching some of my kids how to cook. Sometimes that's a disaster, but sometimes it turns out too.
It's hard to have kids help
hopefully you'll submit a recipe to our community cookbook. We'd love to have you a part of that.
I have one. It's kind of a little obscure. I eat pickled eggs. I love pickled eggs, and that helps me a lot with protein. I like them very briny. I like the strong vinegar flavor, and so it took me years to get it right, but I have a pickled egg recipe that a couple of my kids just, I put them in the fridge, and it's like, where'd all my pickled eggs go? I need one for work.
Oh, really? The kids like it too.
Awesome.
Yes.
That'll be a great addition to the book.
That's a good thing to have in the fridge. I like that.
Yeah, then they last for months in the fridge when you put them in the fridge, and sometimes they taste better after a month or two in the fridge. And usually they don't make it that long though. But
well, tell us about your pathology, Alek. Because before you had your gastrectomy, they saw the signet cells, and that's what signaled you to move forward with the surgery. What did they find on pathology?
Stage 1. I was at stage 1. There's another note. My brother was tested positive. I have two whole brothers. My middle brother, I'm the middle one. My youngest brother tested negative for CDH1, but my oldest brother tested positive, and he had his surgery about 6 months ago, his prophylactic TG, and he was way farther ahead. They found multiple cases during the EGD. They were concerned that it might have spread to his lymph nodes or something like that. However, it did not. So we were both, all of us, I think, were at stage 1 with stage 1 cancer with our stomach after when the pathology came out, and it was a reaffirmation that we made the right choice when we tested positive for cancer, because I know they can't really test it till they take it out.
Right. Yeah. So no further treatment, just the gastrectomy.
Nothing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, and that's for all three of us. And 2 more family members are going to have their surgery. The aunt that had the heart issues is going to have hers soon as well, and the cousin.
And everyone is doing their surgeries at the NIH?
One of them might be doing it at the West version. I think, is it in Colorado? There's an NIH campus out west.
No,
her husband. Oh. Yeah, her husband's in the military, and they're stationed like in the middle of nowhere. Is it Minot maybe, or Montana, somewhere out there. So they're going to do theirs a little bit closer. And if you go to the NIH now, they have a shirt that has mountains on the background as one of their shirts, and I think it's kind of a toss back to the
that campus.
I've never heard of it.
I haven't, but that's not done with Jeremy Davis, obviously, right?
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
Now, your mom. Okay, so your mom had the shadowing in her breast. She had her double mastectomy. What was her stage when she had her breast removed?
Actually, I don't know for sure. I know it was weird because it wasn't a normal. She had that without any knowledge of CDH1 done at all. It did grow rapidly, though. I do know from the first time they did it and the second time they did it and the different times they checked it, it was growing. And I think it started to I can't even say it. Metastasize. It started to do that, but they got everything.
Oh, good. So she didn't have to have any treatments done after that?
Yeah, I don't think she did, if I recall.
Good.
I don't think she did. She chose not to have any reconstruction done, so she just, got everything, get the surgery, and chose to do the wearable.
Good.
So she's doing great. She's lost a lot more weight, and she's just barely over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And she was almost 200 when we started our weight loss journey.
Oh, wow.
So half the woman she was.
I ran into a couple guys that knew me when I was the big Alek.
Yeah.
And there's like, hey, can we use the other third or half of you for another employee? So,
I always got to keep humor a part of it.
Humor is my thing. I'm not necessarily sarcastic, but I got the puns and the dad jokes and I just get that all the time, and it's just part of my personality. And the people I worked with, they groaned a little bit, but they got used to it, and then they start coming asking me for jokes, and they were all lame jokes, of course, but that made them even funnier.
And so now your 3 children have you to look up to and be a positive person in their life. Are they considering being tested for the gene?
We were careful at first because I don't know how the military would feel about that. I don't know. I know there's a clause that you can't be discriminated against based on your genes. That's actually a protected category. But if you get diagnosed with something, the military tends to frown upon that. So we are going to wait and discuss it with them when they're 18, 19, 20. And especially when some of the research comes out, I'm curious to see who it will benefit and how it will benefit them. But 20, we'll seriously encourage them to get tested when they probably hit age 20. Right. For all of them. And I have 4, actually, 12, 14, 16, and 18. One girl is a 16-year-old. So
that's a little young to be taking on that worry.
Yeah. So we kind of play that part off and don't worry too much about the genetic aspect. Though I have some smart kids, and they're figuring it out a little bit. But
they're probably not even
scared. They see their dad, and
their grandma.
You're probably healthier now than you've ever been.
Right.
I feel more healthy than I have ever been, and that is it a side effect? Sometimes yes, but the health journey and the CDH1 has changed my perspective and just how I act quite a bit.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I think your positivity and your healthy lifestyle and your being active all the time has definitely contributed to your outcome. And it's very inspiring, not to just stomachless people, but to people with their stomachs. So
Yep.
yeah, I appreciate you a lot. I think it's
I've
great.
thought about trying to make a blog called Gutless Running just to play on the pun a little bit, but you know, I'm still the primary breadwinner, so it's hard to spend
It'd be a
time
lot
doing
of work.
stuff like
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I
But
bet when you're running, you start dreaming of like the blogs and what to write.
yes, I tend to do that.
Yeah.
There was something I was gonna say. I just lost my train of thought.
Oh.
The gutless running.
Bugs. Being amazing.
Yes.
Just being
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah, my head, I physically have a big head, but the metaphorical big head, sometimes when people start complimenting too much, I'm like, wow, you're so amazing. I'm like, oh, well, my head's already big enough. You probably don't need I don't need any help.
I think it's fine to have that self-confidence. It's a good thing.
I have a question. Do you drink protein
Sure.
shakes?
Yes, I actually do, especially going into my rest days. I have some rest days I have to take between some of the longer runs, and I use what's called the Publix GreenWise protein drink. I tried the regular one that everyone does, the one that doesn't have sugar in it, and I don't care for them.
Is
But
it Ensure or something? The
yeah,
Premier?
yeah,
Premier
Premier,
protein?
Premier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried them all. I can drink them, but they're I don't, maybe you shred ice and strawberries in it and then it's a little bit better. But I use a protein powder that has 2 or 3 grams of sugar or less, and it's no added sugar. And I throw a banana in there, I throw peanut butter in there, and I throw extra Ben protein in there to make it have a lot of protein. Because they normally only have about 15 to 20 grams. I try to get it up to 40 or 50 grams of protein per drink when I do it, and I have to have it cold with ice.
Right.
And what is your average protein intake per day?
200 plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. I need to kick it up.
I know.
I need to run more. I need to eat more.
Yeah, the 200 plus, that was tough. It took me a while to, trail mix has a lot of protein because of all the nuts. But what's interesting is sugar used to be, I was so careful for the first 10 months. Like, my sugar intake was probably less than 5% of my diet. I didn't even eat fruit very much because I was a little worried about, dumping syndrome and stuff like that. But as I've run more, I haven't had to really worry too much about sugar intake as long as I'm eating an equivalent amount of protein with it. And I mean, I made, for my son's graduation, not graduation, his going away party, I made 300 cookies. And it was so hard not to eat more than 1 or 2 every time you were making them. And I really didn't suffer any ill effects, but because I kept up my diet of, when you eat regularly, it tends to mitigate the sugar effects from the previous meal because you dump more protein in your system and it keeps going. Now, I can't recommend that for everyone because some people, if they eat a little bit of sugar, they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going to probably claim running and active lifestyle helps
I agree.
with eating a dessert more than your normal TG patient.
We want to talk to more people like you, just so we can
We need to do like a study on people's diets afterward and really chart it. Maybe do like an Excel spreadsheet. And
how active are you? Because
Figure
wouldn't it
it
be
out.
good? Because there is no handbook. But what if we could create?
There's not.
What if you could create one and say, these are the steps you should be following before. Make sure you clean your diet up. And I don't know. It's just.
I know cleaning my diet up was really important at the beginning. Because food, I was super sensitive to several things at the beginning, and now I'm not really sensitive to anything. Really greasy food though, like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A biscuits with just their little biscuit meals. I can eat them, but they bother me a little bit. Nothing significant. They're not my favorite anymore. I used to eat them a lot, so I'd be careful with the super fast foody greasy foods. Those aren't.
Sure.
I don't enjoy those anymore.
Yeah.
Home cooked is better.
Yeah. I feel like whole foods. I always feel better if I'm eating whole foods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing processed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt the same way, but. Well, Alec.
Yeah, it was so good talking to you. You're so
Yeah, it was
fun,
great.
and you make it you make it not so daunting. It feels like so.
Yeah, I don't like being down. I mean, I'm a rather positive person, and even at my new job, they're like, they call me road runner, or they call me snack guy. It just get weird names because they know I run and they know I snack all the time, it's.
So we did do this with everybody. We want you to leave us with, or do you have any words of wisdom or advice that you'd like to offer?
I do know that after you have your TG, it's super important to remain healthy. Not necessarily follow a specific diet that you you high fat, low carb, or keto, or something like that. But you need to be healthy, active, and you need to eat. You eat when you eat till you get uncomfortable, not super uncomfortable. You eat till you can feel that, okay, I gotta stop then. But as soon as you get comfortable again, eat some more. And I think more people ask me about my eating habits on that post I made than about my running.
Right.
And it was, I eat until I'm uncomfortable, and then when I'm not uncomfortable again, I eat again. Yeah. And that, if I didn't do that, I would probably weigh 120 pounds with burning 2,000 calories on one run. Yeah. You have to eat. And
up for that, yeah.
But be active. Active helps you eat. But of all things, I would say, man, there's more than one, I think. Invite humor and positivity into every aspect of your journey. And not only will it make the people around you more comfortable, you'll feel better in the end. And that helps with the church support group, too. I was the same way. It doesn't have to be church, but I go to a church and they were very supportive. Don't be afraid to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words there. Maybe some wisdom too, if you look really hard.
I think that
I think it was full. I do too.
100% agree with all of that. So perfect.
And then somebody in the last interview asked if we would open up questions to anybody that might still be on. If anybody has any questions that they want to.
Sure. I mean, I have a few more minutes. I do have to go to work in probably about 10 minutes, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I don't know if anybody is on that wants to ask a question, but well,
thank you so much, Alec.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
It was so good to talk to you.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
My seahorse brother.
Yeah. I was a little nervous because I don't normally do interviews like this, and I looked at it, it's like, man, it's almost all gals that being interviewed on your interviews. I'm like, I feel I standing out a little bit here. But.
We always get nervous before them too. I don't know why. And then as soon as you start, it's like that nervousness goes away.
Yeah.
Just talking to a member of the family is really
exactly. All right. Well, thank you
enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll look forward to hearing about your run in February.
Yeah.
I will post it. I got one on Thanksgiving too. It's only a half marathon though. That's just a little run.
Just a half.
Just a little run.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like my morning jaunt.
All right. Thanks so much, Alec.
Right.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.